For a long time, the extreme high energy source has been used by the Russian elites and for their military operations since the 1970s. They are batteries that produce tremendous amount of power and can be fully charged with very short amount of time. Today, the conventional type lithium-ion battery cell that the world uses holds nominal voltage of 3.6 volt and a max voltage of 4.2 volt and can safely handle around 2 amp charging rate and 10 amp discharge rate. In comparison, single Russian battery cell can hold as much as 55 volt and can withstand charge rate at 15 or greater amp and discharge rate at 155 amp. That was back in the 70s. It was invented by the Russians and meant to be used for their military hardware, such as electronic warfare jamming weapon system, enough to fry the onboard electronics on the enemy target. With this breakthrough technology and portability, the human target electronic killing weapon was made possible and have been used since then. Today, the Russian battery technology has further improved and can now safely withstand 160 volt, charge rate of 100 amp or greater, and discharge rate of 300 amp coming from a single cell. These highly concentrated batteries has been hidden away from the public. Starting around year 2013, the Brazilian and other international elites were able to steal this battery technology and mind monitoring spy weapon technology to use them on the general public. Later in the year 2019, the US elites started using this battery technology and incorporated in BMW M and M Sport models 2019 and up. The electric motors were installed inside the hub system. The rear-wheel drive models has 2 motors in the rear, 4 motors in the X-drive models. Because of concentrated energy of the battery cells, they were able to use small space in the car in the rear for the battery. The purpose was to make the new BMW M models to significantly outperform most other cars to gain attraction and build customer loyalty by cheating with the use of the battery. God told me that the US elites owned BMW M division and the M Sport models for production sales. The rest of the BMW lineup was owned by the Brazilian elites. From what God told me, the current model BMW M340i X-Drive has a small battery pack in the configuration of 10 series and 103 parallel connection. Full charge at 465 volt and low charge at 390 volt. This gives you power equivalent to additional 153 crank horsepower and 167 additional foot-pound of torque. As a result, the M340i X-Drive has output of 535 horsepower and 536 foot-pound of torque, which explains for superior performance over all other cars that are not equipped with such battery. God told me the current BMW M5 model has 7 series and 135 parallel configuration battery pack, operates at 440 volt full charge, 375 volt at low charge. It provides additional power of 137 horsepower and 175 foot-pound of torque, giving you grand total of 762 horsepower. BMW M3 uses battery pack in 9S and 145P, operates at 480 volt full charge, 390 volt low charge. It puts additional power of 173 horsepower and 161 foot-pound of torque, resulting in 683 horsepower total power. God told me that these cars don't use 48-volt battery system. It's a lie. It ranges from 440 volt to 480 volt, way more than the normal electric cars like Tesla operates. The fast rate charging is done in the background while the car is moving, except for under heavy acceleration. After 100 miles per hour under full acceleration, it gradually reduces battery power output to save the battery level. God told me several years ago that the Tesla Model S Plaid uses Russian batteries as well as the Lucid Air and Rimac Nevera supercars, which explains for their groundbreaking performance. Tesla was owned by Brazilian elites many months ago, but they were long gone, killed by the Russian elites because of the stolen battery technology and the blueprints. The real use for the Russian battery is for the criminals around the world to use spy weapons to kill people, as they spend all their time 24/7 spying on people and their enemies, so the reliance of concentrated energy source is utmost important for them. They don't want anybody else to have access to these batteries and the spy weapon for their security. Because of this reason, the real usable energy is taken away from the general public, and the criminals use it for their evil intentions. People of the world would benefit hugely from this concentrated power source. Imagine how poor or homeless people could benefit from this, as the battery stores tremendous amount of energy, more than enough to supply all their electrical needs, including heater and air conditioner, which will work with existing solar panels. Not to mention your scooter and e-bike energy needs. Imagine the power and range you would get out of these batteries that will last nearly forever. God is removing evil as we speak. The cleansing, meaning taking out people, will continue until everybody that are evil are gone. God told me that these highly concentrated Russian batteries will be available for the general public after the real trouble comes, the collapse of the financial, gasoline, and power grid electricity. The evil will no longer be able to use these batteries because they will get wiped out. The unlimited, highly effective energy will be obtained by deep drilling ground right where you live. God told me that this energy supply deployment from Russia for the selected countries, including America, will be in limited quantity. They are for the survivors. Alright, God bless you.